Yay. Okay. So we're covering, I have this on my Kindle this time. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil from V. Schwab, who is female. And it took me reading half the book to figure that out. So I just wanted to preface with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the wheel spin. We have so many people on it. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, no, wrong one. Okay. Share. Can you guys see the little wheel? We're good? Okay. Let's spin it. Ah, ooh, oh, wait a minute. This really got it. I don't think she has any merch. I'm gonna write that down real quick. Okay, that's sharing. And you guys are back. Fabulous. Okay, so we're gonna start with our favorite quotes. Oh, there's Udi. And our favorite character or any favorite moments. This was really hard for me to narrow down. So we'll go ahead and we'll go in reverse. Good evening, Udi. Hi, cutie. Everybody know why she goes by Udi? It means Udi with a booty, which I love and always love telling everyone. So we'll go ahead and start with Tiff and any favorite character or parts or quotes.
Um, I really like a lot of the characters
Me
in
too.
this book so far. I think that like my favorite character is Sabine, as in Sabine the widow. Um, I feel like that if I were gonna live a life as a vampire, like that's probably what I would do, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
is just have a little shop and like go place to place and I don't
Wouldn't
know.
that be so cool? Like my dream is to have like an apothecary and a bookstore together. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that whole vibe. Um,
Yeah, and I did highlight a few quotes,
yay!
but I think that my favorite one, well, there's a couple. There's at the beginning, um, the widow, like when Maria's a kid, she like grabs her and she says, "Be careful. In nature, beauty is a warning. The pretty ones are often poisonous."
That's one of the ones I picked too.
And then, when again, young Maria is asking her, like, is she a witch? And she's like, oh, but what happened for us was a miracle. And then the widow says, how is a miracle different from a spell? Who is to say the saint was not a witch?
I have both of those. I'm glad I put down like five of them because those are amazing. Um, so the original Sabine, and then did you have a favorite moment?
Um, I don't know that I have a specific favorite moment.
Mhm.
I also felt like I really on a deeply personal level related to Alice. Um,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
I was like, yep, that's me. Think overthinking everything and like, yeah, all that. So I really related to her.
She's my favorite character. Okay. So Stephanie, how about you? And good evening, Erin. We did the wheel spin. It's so good that your computer got updated. Cicely won, and I don't think she has any merch yet, so that's really cool. And we just started a recording. We're gonna go over quotes and favorite characters. Okay, Stephanie, let's hear it.
So I like all the characters, honestly. I think my favorite would have to be Sabine,
Mm-hmm.
as, even as Maria, because she's trying to find herself, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite moments that I laughed a little bit was when Renata, Hector, and Sabine said that they dressed up as plague doctors.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Thought
Yeah.
that was great
They were
because
wearing
I'm
that
into that.
that like tuberculosis mask, like because
Yeah,
they thought it was a like a pandemic type of thing because everybody was
yeah.
dying. Yeah, I totally
I
saw
thought
them
that was
doing that.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I thought that was
And
cute too.
then and then one of my favorite quotes are there are two parts to every answer, the part that's said and the part that isn't.
Yeah, sure enough, sure enough. I love that. I love that. Good evening, Nikki. I just wanted to just start with lots of love energy towards you. If everybody can send Nikki all the love and light. I think a lot of us have experienced losing somebody unexpectedly to a really hard way. So I just want to tell you that you're not alone and that I love you.
Thank you.
Did you have, I know you're not as far as everyone else, which is totally fine because I think we're all in different spots. Did you have anything that you wanted to share?
Well, like I said, as y'all know, it's been a rough week, not only with my coworker committing suicide, but I spent the weekend back and forth in the hospital with Maddie because she's got some GI stuff going on.
Oh no, I'm
So it's been a rough week.
sorry.
I did get as far as where Maria becomes Sabine. So that's where I had stopped at.
Hmm.
I'm very much enjoying Maria's story and just how she's like started as this poor little side girl and how she's become this. Like I love so far she's my favorite. I love listening to her story.
Uh-huh. She's enchanting. She's
She
hard
is.
to like when her story is going, I'm like really enthralled. It's
Yeah,
not to get like addicted to her character.
it
She's
really
something
is.
about her. It's very feral. Yeah,
Now listening to an audiobook, it's hard for me to get quotes,
that's
obviously.
okay. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm doing the Audible book too, and I wanted to ask everyone who is doing that, do you like the accents or are they difficult for you? I know you have a little bit of a hearing issue like I do.
I do, but I'm actually enjoying it because the different accents is really helping me determine who's who in the
Yes,
book.
it does help. It does help. Yeah. How about you, Udi?
I'm listening to it as well, and I agree. I like the Scottish accent.
Yes. Uh-huh. I do too.
My favorite character is probably Maria, just because I also enjoy her story. And my favorite part is when she trained her husband with blood, got him back for everything. I thought that was great. She
Yeah.
endured so much. Yeah. And I'm excited to see where she goes.
Yeah, there's some real serious carnage going on there in that scene. Yeah, definitely intense. Did you have any favorite quotes?
No, I don't think I really caught any favorite quotes just because I was listening to
Sure, sure.
it.
It's
It's
different.
hard to
It's
remember.
harder to
Yeah, it's hard to
retain.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, what I
but I'm
do,
just like enjoying it so much.
oh my God, it's so good. This is like my favorite book we've ever done. I don't know. There's something about it. But what I do is I go on Goodreads and I put it in by chapter. So like, but this one's hard with chapters. But anyway, like I do like the first like five chapters and pick my favorite. If I do it audibly, that's how I find my favorite quotes. But Karen, how about you?
Um, so I didn't finish all the way through, but I like Maria the best so far. Like everybody else said, I like her story. Um, I like the fact that she doesn't want to be pinned down. Um, and I there's a lot of little evil behind her because like she just you wouldn't think that she would be talking about like murdering her husband like and
Right?
those kinds of things like at first she's supposed to be like this prim and proper lady and she's actually before she turns she's dogs are crazy but yeah I'm the best so far and I don't have any real quotes yet so
Okay. Well, thank you. I agree with you. She has got something very, I don't know, tempting about her. Like I want to dip into that wildness. Jameson, how about you?
I actually really like Maria. I probably am not supposed to. I don't know if we're supposed to or not, but I really like her. I feel like I don't know enough about Alice to know. Like, I want to read more about Alice, but I really actually like Maria. And then the quote that I had was when she's talking to Sabine in the shop and she says she doesn't like her name. It says Sabine looks at her kindly and says, "A name is like a dress. It might It might be by nature pretty or plain, but it's the person wearing it who matters the most." Maria considers looking through a jar of herbs, studying the face beyond. "If names are dresses, mine simply does not fit." So take it off, says Sabine blithely, handing her the lavender as if it's a torch. Who would you be? What would better suit you? Maria brings the dried flower to her nose. To that she has no answer ready, but she will think on it.
I loved
And
it
I
too.
don't know if it's my non-binary soul that loves it, or that I have always hated my birth name, or I don't know, but I just like was like, that is a great way to explain that. Like, okay, doesn't fit you, take it off.
Yes, yes. I thought of all of my non-binary and my trans friends, and I'm like, that must be what it feels like to like get to pick your name. I guess anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But it's more common, and I'm like, it must feel so good to be able to decide that. Like it's a rebirth in a way,
It
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally get it. I felt it in the fields. I'm like, oh, that must be what it feels like for them. And Anna, how about you? And is it Nana? Nana?
And Nana, you have it
Nana.
right.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I along with everyone else, right? I really like Maria. I love this character, how she's written as this I don't know, she's already before she has any idea of the world as a larger whole, she's not going to be fit or stuffed into any box, right? So she walks tall, she kind of like is proud of her like the thing that makes her stand out, right? She's like the V. Schwab describes her as someone who isn't so she's not traditionally pretty. She's sharp, right? She has a sharp look. And I really just enjoyed that about her. But my real obsession is Lottie. My real
Really?
obsession is Lottie right now. I want to see how she connects into all of this. Now that we know what she's done to Alice, right?
Right.
So, and then the notes that she was making about the women that as she has her moment with them, and that like one line that she allows as a descriptor of that time that she had with them. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit toxic of me, but I'm like, it's
No.
that one night stand and how she like has that touchstone of that moment with this woman. But yeah, I'm a little obsessed with her. Yeah. My favorite quote, there was a few I failed to take note of them, but I'm a little obsessed in shows when they repeat the name of the show, right? In the show or
Yes.
in the book in this case. So my like favorite little moment what is always to see how the author or the writer, um, the director, whatever, like leans back into the title. And so when Hector is describing or like quoting the poem of Bury our bones in the midnight soil and how that comes to be, I was like, oh, that's cute. But yeah.
I loved that part too. I loved every part of it. And I was wondering how it was going to get tied in. Also, um, I had shared that I was talking with everyone that read it that I was like like uh, drawn to Lottie too because like the violet hair dye is like dripping down her and I'm like this shit is hot and nobody else caught
Yeah.
this like I'm like oh
Yeah.
I am down for this one.
Yeah, and even like before you get the scene of like them having sex, like Alice or like the narrator or whatever, like kind of go like refers to the drops of the violet hair dye on the carpet already.
Yes.
Like you know something is like you're getting that little bit of foreplay before the foreplay.
Yeah.
Um, but then like their moment is so wholesome. It's so like sweet. And yeah, and I also like I think I Alice felt like me. It was like looking into a mirror as well. So I was like, this was a really sweet and wholesome moment. And then like she tastes like grief. And I was like, oh God, what? So that was the piece of that. I think my obsession with Lottie.
hmm I get it completely. Jessica, how about you? I'm so curious. So, are you and Diane reading this one to each other, or are you reading it yourself? Like, how are you going? Because it's very spicy.
Yes, it is. We are still reading it aloud. I'm really glad I didn't invite the youngest to sit in on this book.
Yeah.
I told her today, I was like, I was going to invite you to read this book with us, but I'm glad I didn't because it is not parent-child appropriate.
It'll be a little uncomfortable.
A little bit. And I'm like, we need to read this not so loudly to
Yes.
each other. But I've been really enjoying it. I really liked the one of the quotes I had been drawn to was the little bit about the name that Jameson brought up. And I'm really drawn to Maria's character, and I think it's for me it's because she's bold and she has a sense of what she wants and she takes action. She's not just letting things befall her. Even with the ridiculous, crappy marriage, like she orchestrated that to give herself what she thought was the best outcome. She's
Hmm.
not willing to just be a pawn.
Yeah.
So I like that. I another quote that kind of stuck with me is where Sabine is telling Maria, knowledge is power. Never turn it down.
Yes.
Which
I
I'm
was
like, I love
so,
that.
I love that. I was so happy she taught her like the symbolism of the letters and like, she liberated her in every way possible, not just physically, but intellectually too. And that justification was like so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Gwen, how about you? I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. So did you have any favorite quotes, a favorite moment, favorite character?
Well, my favorite character was Maria, who became Sabine. I prefer her as Sabine. And my favorite moment was when those three drunk men were walking and one turned into a vampire. And she realized she was not alone. That moment when she was watching them attack those men, and then the I forget the woman vampire's name, but she attacked them as well. Um, I just really enjoyed it was that whole like, hey, I'm not alone in this world. There's people like me. This is really, and how it affected her and she how she wanted her and how she lingered, and that whole scene just appealed to me so much.
It is a good part. It really was. It was like she recognized that there were others like her. So I get why you like her so much. Good evening, Cicely. Hello. So we're going over our favorite quotes, our favorite character, and favorite moment, and we did the wheel spin, and you won. So, I'll be sending you the link for merch. 'Cause I don't think you have any Cozy Corner merch, and you can pick anything from
I
the
don't.
website, but all the fall stuff is out. So, that's super cool. And thank you so much for sharing, all of your favorite little book club bingo stuff. So tell me. Who's your favorite character? Do you have any favorite quotes, moments?
So I will say right up front, I got messed up in this book because I started in the ebook and then I moved to the audiobook. And then I think I jumped ahead in the audiobook.
Mhm. We are all discombobulated.
Like,
That's on me. It took
mm,
me a while to figure out how do I do this? How do I break this? This is so confusing, but we figured it out.
no, I think I like touched the wrong spot in my audiobook player, I think, because I think I missed something. But anyway, um, I'm enjoying it. I don't have a quote because I'm doing the audiobook now, but in the audiobook they have accents.
Yes, I asked everyone, do you like the accents? Do you dislike the accents?
Both. Um, I both like them and don't at the same time. Like I kind of like it, but it's also kind of distracting.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
So, some people like it because you can tell the difference between characters. And Gwen had said that she had a hard time relating to Alice, so she didn't quite understand her the first time around. So, like, I think it just depends on your vibe with that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. So I already spaced his name. Dang it.
So do
Oh,
you relate to anybody? Can you see yourself in anyone yet? Or do you find anybody appealing?
Well, I think I'm going to find Sabine appealing.
Hmm.
I think, like I said, I think I missed a chunk in there in the
Hmm.
audiobook.
Yeah,
um, I think I'm going to find her appealing in the spot that I left off in. I'm like, girl,
I think you are too. Knowing you, I
um,
think
hmm.
I can see a lot of, meaning Maria Sabine, the one that starts as Maria. I can see a lot of you in her. That I don't know, just takes life by the horns type thing, and just revels in who she is. You know, I love
I
that
think
about her.
I'm probably honestly going to start the audiobook over this
Yes,
week because I have a bunch of paperwork this week at work.
yeah.
And so, like, paperwork and audiobooks go like
Don't go
this.
great together. No, 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 no.
No, they do for me.
Really? I can't keep
Yes.
track of what I'm doing. I get it.
No, because it keeps me from fidgeting quite as madly. Like, I need to be doing more than one thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't,
Makes sense.
otherwise, I'm going to be on the evening news. It'll be bad. So, audiobooks and paperwork are great for me.
That's wonderful. It doesn't go well with medical stuff at all.
Oh,
How about you?
it's not the medical part.
You know, Erin, so what do you think? I know you've read this author before, right?
Just one book, yeah.
Okay. And do you like this author? Like, were you excited to start reading the book? Like, are you relate? Because it's more, so, you know, you're in a hetero relationship. Is it hard for you to dip over into this? Or I was curious from your point of view, what is it like to read something sapphic?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I think love is love. So, I mean, I'm like, I have a husband, but I have lots of friends who love
Yeah.
anybody. It doesn't bother me. But my the quotes that I picked out were the quotes that you said you picked and Tiff said she picked. I really like that. I feel like what the widow told her, it was kind of foreshadowing her future that we didn't know about yet because the widow tells her, often the pretty ones are poisonous. And then Hector tells her this poem about, the bury my bones poem. And at the end, he said he's talking about a beautiful rose that has sharp white teeth. So I thought that was great. My favorite parts were also two that have already been mentioned. One, when they dressed up like the plague doctors and they were walking, saying that they were staying ahead of their destruction. I loved that because it reminded me of like the scene in Twilight where they're playing baseball and then James and his clan come in. They're like all walking in slow motion. That's what I
Yeah.
pictured them like, walking in slow motion with like villages burning behind them. And then also after she turns and she goes back, um, not I love that she drained her husband. I love that. But what I liked even more is that she didn't even really talk about it, but she mentioned, I guess it really was only 8 steps it took to break a neck. I really like that because that mean old lady, I'm just so
Oh,
glad
she
she's
was despicable, right?
yeah,
Oh, she was
yes.
nasty. Do you have a favorite character that you feel most drawn to?
I probably like Marie slash Sabine the best. I was curious about the widow though. At first, I thought maybe she was Lottie and she had just kept going, but we know that that's not true now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess at this point, my favorite character is probably Sabine, the new Sabine.
That was my suspicion too, by the way. I'm like,
Uh,
is she Lottie? Like in the future, you know what I mean?
yeah.
For me, my favorite quotes, well, were the two that Tiff shared, that, and then the dedication, just set me off on like why I was gonna love the book, but it's to the ones who hunger for love, for time, or to simply be free. And that, I don't know, just really pulled me in. And then, my favorite character by far, and I know she's just had a small blip of it, but is Alice. I love her internal dialogue, her introversion, her shyness, her inability to feel comfortable in her own mind and body. I don't know why, but those are always my favorite kind of people. And I I think I appear to most people to be so much like Maria, um, but I'm not. Secretly under like the shell, I'm totally out. So I found her so relatable. So we're going to jump into our questions now, and we have it pulled up here. We're going to start with Aaron, back with you. And your question. So I'm on the wait list for Libby for The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Um, but so you that's the book you read, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how I missed this in this book. Who so there's freckles like stars across her cheeks?
Yeah, if you guys, if, I was just curious if anyone else has read that because I feel like maybe it's written in the same universe because that was like a big thing in that book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Um, she has they mention these freckles across her cheeks, and people say that they're like stars, they're constellations.
Yeah.
And then and she's also immortal. She will live forever. And but then in that book, in Sabine's list, she writes down, or Lottie's list, I guess.
You're
She had written
right.
down Jess, freckles like stars across her cheeks. I can't remember what it was, but
Oh
when
my
I
God.
caught that, I was like, oh my gosh, I think that that's Addie. I think that she had, because there is like a scene in that book too where she had slept with somebody. So I think it's her.
Oh my God, I got goosebumps.
I
So
think the
I
author
can't
was
believe I
like,
missed it because I'm obsessed with freckles.
yeah.
So the fact that I missed that, I was like, wait a minute, there's somebody in this book who has freckles? Like
Oh,
then
it's
it was somebody that she had been with that she was
yeah.
supporting. Okay.
It was just literally one line, but I think it was like the author just bringing in a different character from a different book of hers, and I thought was so cool.
I love that. So that ties into one of my questions, and it was the way that this is wrote, like the prose. I find it so beautiful. It's almost like poetry to me, like every word is a favorite quote. But for you, do you like this writing style?
Yeah. I love it. So far I like the book. I feel like it just makes you want to keep going and keep,
Yeah.
just to see what's being said next. So yeah, I do.
How about you, Cicely? Do you like this style of writing? A lot of people who don't read like a lot of classics or this style tend to be like, I don't know, it's too descriptive, it's too poetry like, but you write poetry.
Yeah. So I like it. I've read a bunch of this author's stuff and it's been a while and I read a lot. So I can't tell you that much about
That's right. You're the
stuff.
one that recommended the podcast.
She has a really fun podcast and actually a couple of authors that we've had in this book club have been on it.
Oh,
And then a couple of
okay.
my favorites have been on it too. So it's a fun one. But I like her writing style and I'm probably biased because I do a lot of prose myself. Um
I love that though.
but I yeah, I like her and I've enjoyed her other books. I didn't finish Addie LaRue,
Hmm.
but I tend to read multiple books at the same time.
Me too.
Um and I think that when I was started that one, I was reading something else that like really grabbed me. And it wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a terrible book. It was like, I can't care about this right now.
Right.
Like, what's going to happen to these other people?
Just,
So,
yeah, it's one of these has to go.
yeah, but she did Darker Shade of Magic and Vicious, which are freaking awesome. And the characters are really fun. I feel like this writer, I like her style and I usually like her characters.
I love that. I love that. I was so excited when Aaron put that down because I wanted to know more. I'm already so intrigued. Gwen, I see that you have Vetter, who never leaves you alone.
He broke open the door. I forgot to lock it.
That is okay. The cat follows Gwen everywhere and sings to her constantly. So if he starts belting it out, Eddie Vedder style, just ignore. So tell us your opinion on the prose writing style.
I so I'm doing the audiobook and I struggled a little bit with the writing style. I don't read a lot of classic writing. I haven't read classic writing since high school. This is similar to classic writing. It's not so much fiction writing, but classic writing. So I actually had to listen to the book twice. So I once I listened to it the second time, totally into it. But it took my brain literally twice to be able to kind of get with it. And I enjoyed the storyline's amazing. The descriptions are amazing. The character, but that cat just knocked down the iPad. The cat, the storyline's amazing. The descriptions are amazing. The character development is amazing. Very good in that area. It just took me a minute.
When you had told me that you were struggling, I'm like, I wonder why I'm not. And then I realized, oh, I read write poetry all the time, so this probably is it. Jessica, how about you? So you're reading it out loud. So how is that going?
It's going really well. I really like this writing style. I like the whole nature of it being more like how people actually talk. That was one of the things in the last book that really bothered me is I was like, people don't talk to each other like that. This is all so formal and stilted and weird.
Mhm.
Um, but this is very different. This just seems to flow really well. The characters are all so likable for the most part. I mean, other than like Andres and his family, but they're dead, so who cares? Um, so it's been really fun to read. The sentences make sense. It's really lended itself well. And I have to say too that I like the section breaks because it makes deciding when to switch off readers better.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. Okay, okay. Well, now I'm seeing a reason for it because I was getting a little frustrated with trying to find where the hell am I at and what am I doing? That's good to know. This is good to know. Anana, how about you? Do you like the style of writing? Have you read others of V. Schwab?
Yes, so I just finished The Fragile Threads of Power. And so when I saw this book suggested on the voting list, I was like, absolutely, I will gladly follow up with a second V.E. Schwab book.
Yeah.
Um, it was The Fragile Threads of Power is it's fantasy, in a different format, I guess I would say, but it's her writing style does have that crossover, and her voice tends to be the same. I enjoy it, obviously. It wasn't a hard read. It's easy. She makes the characters very easy to get emotionally attached to.
I'm attached to
Um,
all these ones too.
yeah.
There must be something about that that just really pulls you in.
hmm
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to read more. I would have never stumbled upon this book had Tiff not suggested it. So that's one of the things I love so much about book club. Jameson, how about you?
I actually really love the way she writes. But I also loved all of the classic literature that everyone hated. I loved it. Um, Mary Shelley, I Frankenstein is one of my favorite books of all time, and this is the vibe is different, but that's why I kept I'm like, you like this because it's written beautifully. And I like when a book is beautifully written, like I appreciate that if the story is also good, I guess.
Oh, me too. Like it was hard to pick a favorite quote because it was like every single line of this is so beautiful. I am just enthralled. So, but those are my favorite kind of books too. My all-time favorite book is Wuthering Heights. So I understand some people don't love this sort of thing. How about you, Karen? Do you like it? Have you read other books?
So I have read Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. We read it from my in-person book club a few years ago. And we all really loved it. We thought it was a really good book. So her writing style is not a surprise to me. Um, I do, I do like it, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading more of this book and more of her books.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Udi?
And sometimes it takes me a minute to get into this writing style, but not this book. I maybe it's the accents to help differentiate, but I'm liking it.
I love this, and I totally expected it. I had a feeling as I was reading it, I'm like, oh, Udi is going to love the carnage and like the free wild. I knew you were going to be down, so I'm glad. Nikki,
Yeah, it's good.
how about you? Have you read anything by V.E. Schwab?
I have not, but I'm very much enjoying the writing style.
Yeah, I thought so. This, like, based on your previous books that you like, I thought that this would
Hmm.
be a good fit. Especially since you just picked a vampire book. So, like, here we
I
are,
did.
How about you, Stephanie?
I do enjoy the writing style. It's very poetic, so I do like it. I'm like you, I like classic literature too, even if it's hard to read sometimes. But this book is so easy to read. It's a lot different than the vampire book that we read. And I've never read V.E. Schwab before, but I'm wanting to read some more. I like her writing style a lot. And it's
Right?
very descriptive and it just pulls you in.
It's so beautifully done. It's hard to put into words. And then Tiff, of course, since you recommended this, had you read this before? This is your
No, I had not read this. I actually ended up pre-ordering it when I first heard that it was going to come out, and then I forgot that I pre-ordered it, and then it like showed up at my house. And so
love
then I
this.
was like, wow, this is like a perfect opportunity for us to like dive into this. But I had also read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and loved it. I can't remember if I read it in like 2021 or 2022, but it was like my top read then.
Really?
I'd say it's probably in my top 10 reads in the last,
Oh,
few years. It's very good.
oh,
So yeah, I really enjoy the writing. I think V.E. Schwab is a great writer. I I enjoy books that like it felt like from the very first chapter, like I was immediately like drawn into it from the first chapter. And I really enjoy books like that, that they're just like they pull you in right away. And so you're like, all right, this is what we're doing. We're on this ride. So yeah, it was nice.
this was my first experience with a book club book that did that to me. I usually push forward through I always tell everyone get through the first chapter, see if you're pulled in, But this is the first one from the very first line. I was like, oh, I am so 10 toes in.
Mhm.
So the next question, and we'll start back with you, Tiff, is it keeps going out of Cozy Corner. I don't know why. It's so weird. Okay. Um, Oh, okay. So we kind of covered that. That's Gwen's. Who's your favorite storyline and why? Um, oh, okay, Anana, this is a good question, and I have thoughts on this. Thoughts on why men and women taste different to Sabine.
Um, I think that Sabine has probably always been
Okay.
uh gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, honestly. She was very much into her maid. She was what was her name? Isabel. Isabel, I couldn't remember her
Yes.
name. She very much was into her, like you could tell. She was into the old Sabine before she really knew what she was. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me because I think that you are gay.
Definitely a lesbian. I thought that from
Yeah.
when she was a small child. I'm like, oh, you're too wild to be straight. I just knew.
Yeah, but I also feel like I don't know, most of the men, we're in another book where I feel like the men are just awful.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, the last book, the men were horrible too, but we're not a man-hating group. It just happens this is the way it's fall, the chips will fall. And Stephanie, how about you? Do you have theories on like women are like sweeter or something like fresher? Do you think that's because of the way we care for ourselves or the way men like what is your thoughts on that?
So I agree with Tiff. I think it does have to do with her being lesbian.
Mm,
And also, I've wondered if it is because maybe what women put in their bodies versus what men do. Women don't really drink as much, and they don't put a lot of toxins in their bodies. Back
As
then,
women.
anyway, they wouldn't have. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Nikki, how about you? I'm so excited to hear this from your point of view.
I was talking to my daughter, so I completely missed the question.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, that's okay. Anana asked, why do you think women taste different to Sabine than men do?
Because we're sweeter.
Yeah. Well, that is a perfect answer. I accept that.
Well, and I think it's also because, whoops, I just totally dropped my phone. Um, I think somebody had mentioned, I think I heard somebody say that it's because she's gay, and I think
Yeah.
that's it. I think it's because she's attracted to women. So they just
Right.
automatically taste better.
Yeah, that could be. That definitely, I think there is some kind of undertone there.
That's what
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah. I think the more drawn you are to something, the better the reward.
The better it tastes, yeah.
Yeah. Udi, how about you?
I agree. I
Really?
do think that she was all along, but I also think that her husband didn't help the situation.
Uh-huh.
Like men in general just didn't help the situation back then.
No, she had some trauma from,
Yes,
you're right. You're definitely
but
right on
I
that.
do think even before that she was. But
Yeah.
I think that helped like push her further
Seal the
and
deal.
be more and kind of be like more open and okay with it. I feel like that helped her, you
Yeah.
know, be okay with being gay, you know.
Yeah. I think maybe so too.
Hmm.
At least pushed her over the edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
hmm Yeah. Karen, what are your thoughts? I'm intrigued.
Um, I actually didn't read the part, but I am pretty much agreeing with everybody else. You could tell that she had very strong feelings for Isabel. I mean, at least or was attracted to her. And
Hmm.
I think that her her wanting to be
Preference.
with women um was why they tasted sweeter
Mm. Is
or tasted better. Yeah.
is anybody but me here queer, like pansexual, bisexual within that spectrum? Cicely is. Okay. So like I I lean lesbian, but I tend to like non-binary a lot. So it's hard, but I've been with both. So I was just wondering if anybody else had that perspective. Jameson, how about you?
I think it, yeah. I mean, I think it's just because she's a lesbian. I don't know this author. I don't know what her orientation is,
I don't know
but
that either.
I think it's the same reason that I don't like the way men smell. I don't. I can't stand it. And there's a whole study about you liking, like, not even just queer people, but liking the way the people that you are attracted to smell.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's it. I think that's,
When
I
you
think
say
she
you
just,
don't like the way men smell, does that mean pheromones, like basic smell, or is that men's cologne, men's,
no, I like the smell of cologne. I will wear men's cologne randomly. I love the way that smells.
it's the
Um,
basic?
just like the way that your body naturally smells,
Hmm.
it makes me physically ill. I don't like the way men smell. I don't want them in my space. I don't want them that close to me. They may be very
Well,
lovely people. I just don't want to smell them.
I don't think you've
So
ever been quite so forthcoming before in book clubs. I
I,
love this.
I mean, like it's like, and if I'm out in public, it's not a thing. But like if they're in my space, I'm like,
It's
you
different.
smell like a man. I just don't like that.
Yeah, we all have our preferences, and pheromones play a huge role. And I wasn't really thinking about it from that angle, but that very well could be. Anana, this was your question, so I know you've given it some thought. What are your opinions?
So I definitely like when I was first reading, that was my initial thought was like definitely because she's a lesbian, right? We tend to lean towards what we like. A case in point, Jameson talking about like the smell of men. Totally understand it. I get it. Um, And I wanted to think about the psychology of it and how she describes it. And I think, in my opinion, yes, it is definitely that she is a lesbian, but then also, like, I think about how women are caretakers in our community and how we're like gentle, like caring, we make meals, we support, we and she kind of when she talks about like that sweet earthy caramely taste of women, and I that was like my like lean towards was just this warmth of womanhood, right?
What?
And how we're not seeking to control, we're just kind of like caring for those around us. And then her experience with men has always been controlling. She even talks about um like linking the like physical touch and having
Hmm.
to understand where like it was not a controlling touch. And she references back to that when she had, is talking about the taste of men, and, they'll be fine. Because I had some feelings. I was like, if you're a lesbian, why are you just eating women? Like, wouldn't you just want to like lessen the men on, like, wouldn't you just want to eat the men and get rid of them? And then you would just have women around you.
Right?
Um, but I get it. I get it. And yeah, but that was my, like, the deeper, I guess, my, like, the psychology of it was thinking about how women are the caretakers in our community and how we tend to be that sweeter, we're the softer side of Sears.
Right. Well, and she
But
says, and
yeah.
she describes that she can, and so did Lottie, that she could taste like the emotion, like she said Lottie said
Hmm.
that Alice is like grief. Um,
Hmm.
I think sometimes women exude more of like I don't know, a softer, like where you're going. But that is not where
Hmm.
my head has gone. And I wouldn't have said it yet, but I'm curious. I'm gonna let Jessica share and see what your opinion is.
So I mean I think it's because she's gay, but I also feel like the pheromones hormones thing is right. I I used to joke. I still joke sometimes about, my male-bodied children having testosterone poisoning. Um because it does honestly seem like that sometimes. And to be fair, Jameson, you talk about not liking the smell of men. Listen, I don't even like to go in their room. It smells weird in there.
Mhm.
Just like weird. Um, I I feel like that's part of it. And like the psychological component of, who you're more attracted to is gonna taste better. If you think about even just like food, you think about an attractive plate that appeals to your eyes is going to taste better than the
Yes,
same food arranged sloppily.
right, right.
Um, so there's that component. But then everyone just had such good insights on this. So I feel like I agree with everyone. I feel like this is a multifaceted, layered
Very
um,
much so.
thought process. Her like is very complex.
Yeah. Is it just me being like the hypersexual person I am? I'm sorry. But is the act of biting these people and like devouring them, is that like sexy to anyone else or no? Like something about the drinking of the blood and like it almost feels like a intimate experience. And so if I'm not attracted to that person, I'm not sure I want to be biting on their sweaty neck. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's something about that to me. But I tend to sexualize vampires, so I'm just wondering if it's me. So Gwen, what do you think it is about the taste?
Well, I think first of all, it's attraction. So if you are going to eat something, you're going to want to like it. If I don't like lobster, I don't want to eat lobster. So that's basically that. And then we have this old poem that we used to know when we were little kids. Girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Boys are made of snails and puppy dog tails. So that whole idea, of the feminine and Jameson, I don't like the smell of men either. in any way, shape, or form. I used to work on a teenage boys unit in a residential setting. It was the worst smelling. I would walk in there with bleach every single day, make them scrub their rooms with bleach. The worst smelling unit. I worked there for a year. I swear my eyes would water every time I stepped on that unit from the smell. They were age 13 to age 18, man. There's nothing worse than teenage boys. They're the worst smelling. Well, Jessica, for you have to live with them. Um, but I understand males have a distinct smell to them. And imagine as a vampire, they would have a distinct taste to them. Because food smells, food tastes. So the stronger the smell, the stronger the taste. So that makes sense.
Well, we now know why you were definitely 100% gay. You had to go into funky teenage boys stuff and smell sweaty ball sack, probably. Um, Cicely, so as somebody who is sort of like me, why do you think? Do you think it has something to do with the sex pheromone?
Women and men do taste different. They do.
Period. Period.
Like, so I've the same number of partners on both sides, but they just do. So that just makes sense to
Yeah,
me. Like that's like an of course. Of course they do. Of course
right.
they do. And they smell different. Not just like the colognes and the soaps and all that stuff. Or my husband calls it my lotions and potions. Um, but have some
I love
stall.
this.
But just their bodies smell different. And you will also notice um if you're close to them a lot, like women will smell different on their cycle,
Oh yeah.
like their body smells. Um, and not just like down there, but in general, men with lower testosterone smell different than men with higher testosterone.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so you're
yeah,
kind of
your
on,
body smells will change when you're on HRT. Like,
yeah.
so it's like, of course they taste different. And of course women taste better. Come on.
Well, you went
Come on.
biologically in the way that I did, but I thought that was just me being my nursing background. Um,
No, we're just nicer to uh
well, from a
look at.
perspective, I feel like a heavy dose of testosterone is going to taste gamier. Like, you know that like the flesh is going to taste rougher, not as
Like
tender.
pheasant
You know what I mean?
versus chicken. Look, here's
Yeah.
himself.
Oh my God, that's the new baby kitten.
This is a new baby.
Oh, he kind of, is it he or she?
He
He kind of looks like fatter, like a baby fatter. Aw.
he's
So, Erin,
running around in here.
oh, I love him, and I've loved the pictures. Keep posting them. Um, I'm totally down for it. Our chat is a cat background because of the cat book that we read together. And when you got the new kitten, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Erin, did you think about it at all? Like, did you pick up on it, like her preference?
I also assumed that it was just because that's who she's attracted to. So she, wanted the pretty things. I didn't think about it biologically at all. That never even crossed my mind. I thought maybe a little bit about what they were putting in their body just because at one point when they're doing their little feast, they make that man drink. Remember, whatever the other girl's name was, I can't remember what her name is, makes the man drink and then has Sabine taste it. And then Sabine is like, oh, I can taste it now. But then I thought ladies of the night probably aren't putting the best quality things in their bodies. So I don't really know. I just assumed it was because that's who she was attracted to.
I definitely thought it was hormonal based. I really did. That's where my mind went. But hearing your guys, and I know like she's very clearly gay. So that has to be a preference too. But still, very interesting question. Thank you so much for asking it. And then we're gonna go on to, oh, I think Erin, yours is the next one. And I thought of this too because of Edward's you'd already referenced Twilight. He struggles with the loss of his soul. So we're going to start back with you. And he tells Bella all the time, I don't want to transform you because you're going to lose your soul. Like, so your question was, do you think that these vampires in this particular book that the soul dies? I'm curious your thoughts since it was your question.
I don't know. See, where actually I thought of that idea is because I grew up on Buffy, so that's like where I get it from. The vampires, they lose their souls, but they keep like their memories.
Yeah.
They're like, and she has all of her memories. Um, the only reason why I kind of hope that she has lost her soul is because they're eating children, and
Mhm.
they're eating like innocent people. So, I mean, if she does still have her soul, then I just it makes me like her less. Um, Even though sometimes you just like the villain. I don't know. Is she a villain? I guess we'll see.
I was a
But as
little
of right,
disturbed by
uh,
the I have her name. I put a character list down. Renata. Renata, when she sets them on her lap and she like
oh
soothes
yeah.
them and like holds them and comforts them and then kills them. I was
Yeah,
a
she
little,
puts them to sleep and then feasts on them. And I don't like that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, overall, I still do like her. I think she's a great character, but even like the young boy, like I think it was the young boy, right? When she was in the cemetery and she just wanted to lay down and still she just ate that young boy. And I mean, I
Hmm.
guess in that point it was either his life or hers because she was just gonna lay there and die if she didn't, but I don't know. So I
Yeah.
kind of hope that they have lost their souls and maybe she can get it back somehow, but I don't know.
I think, well, I'll give my opinion after we go around. Cicely, what is, I mean, I'm on to something with you though. I thought about it too. What do you think? And just in general, like with vampires or vampires in this book, like, do you think they keep their souls, lose their souls?
I think that, and this is just me, right? But I've read a bunch of vampire books through the course of my life. I think that it's easy to keep your soul and feel like you lost it for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it would make more sense to think that you would have kept your soul, but feel like you lost it.
Lose your morality, maybe
Well, if you
something.
lost your humanity or you felt like, hey, I kill people twice a day,
Yeah.
you
I
would feel like you lost your soul whether you did or not.
Yeah, yeah. But when there's a rebirth of it, you know what I mean? So it's just
Mhm.
interesting to think about. What I know you haven't read much vampire lore, Gwen. So, do you have any thoughts on the soul?
Well, I have thoughts on the whole idea. So they don't need to breathe. They remark on that quite a few times. They remark how they don't need to breathe. They remark on how their heart doesn't beat. So if all these things that they don't really need to sleep, that they do sleep but they don't need to, that they can't eat food, that it's putrid. So I'm wondering if you're losing all those things about you, why don't you lose your soul too? I mean, you've lost everything else that's human, and the soul is human. So I kind of, so that's kind of my perspective on it.
I disagree. I don't think the soul is human. I think the soul is
I
its
knew
own.
you would.
We literally disagree on everything. But I don't. I think the soul is its own entity, and that leaves when we move on. And the human body goes, and whatever burial it has, but what that's okay. But yeah, I can see what you mean by everything dying. Um, I can see your point of view with it, definitely. Jessica, how about you? Do you feel like they have their soul?
Um, I don't know. So I've read a lot of vampire lore. It's a favorite of mine, and I guess that's just something I'd never really considered too much.
Hmm.
I feel like there's definitely a huge loss of humanity. I I don't know that I can say a loss of morality because morality is relative.
It is.
You know, what is what is chaos for the you know
But it's
fly is
chaos is like is home for the spider.
yeah. So I mean, you know, there. they're killing because they have to. I mean, I don't love that they're feasting on children, but I mean, they got to eat. I mean, to survive. So, I I guess I don't know. I mean, do we have a soul to begin with?
Oh, that goes deep.
Yeah.
Goes deep. Yeah, we're going
So
deep, deep here. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that though. I do. Um, Jamie, you're just sitting me. I just saw an honest comment in the chat. That's funny. So Anana, what do you think? Do you think that I guess we don't have to use the word soul. We could do like the inner being or whatever is inside. Do you think there's a death of something?
I think that oh, that's a rough one. 'Cause I when we talk about vampires and their transition into it is the loss of humanity, right? You're not breathing, your blood isn't pumping it in the way that it did before. Like she even talks about like as she's eating, she only has a few moments of heartbeats, right? And then it fades away again. Um and I soul is like this magical word for um the awareness of being a being, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
can assign it religious value or we can assign it identity, but in the end it's this I am a being with a sense of self, right?
Yes,
That is soul. And so they still have that. She even talks about seeing Renetta with the children and how that's not her thing.
right.
But it doesn't like Renetta's like as she's eating children. This sounds like a wild sentence. It doesn't feel like it is um, feral or out of cruelty. Like she gives them this moment of motherhood of like it almost feels like she's longing to be a mother,
Exactly.
right?
I
But she
got
still
that
has
too.
this like she still has a hunger that has to be like satisfied, satiated.
Right.
So he does it in the most gentle way possible. Um, and even Sabine eating the or like killing the small boy in the graveyard isn't, V. Schwab doesn't like draw out the scene and make it something gory and horrible. So it doesn't I don't feel like there is a soul to be lost because vampires, even in their um ascension into vampirism, right? They're still self-aware beings who
Mm-hmm.
they have a hunger that has to be fed, and maybe like just like in toddlers and small children, and you're teaching them the right and wrong and how you balance the things that you want with the things that you need. And so just because you can doesn't mean you should. They have to learn that over as
They
baby
grow.
vampires, right? So like we
Right.
see this in our storylines everywhere. So I don't know that I agree that vampires lose a soul because they're still self-aware beings. They just have to learn how to manage it.
1000% agree with that. Jameson, how about you?
I've always struggled with the vampires lose their soul thing. Like, I don't know, maybe because my introduction to vampires was Salem's Lot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the person that you are remains so much. How can that be? How can
Fully.
it be that you lost your soul? Like, oh, I don't know. And like, it always seemed like a very Christian point of view to
Mm-hmm.
like deter people from wanting to be vampires. Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
uh, in my point of view, I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that I can be a vampire, live forever, and stay young and be beautiful and all of this. And then when I die, I just disappear. Great. I mean, that I don't know that that's not what happens to me anyway. So why is not having a soul this like big, huge punishment? Like, I'm going to have a soul while I'm here. I'm going to do all the good that I can while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I have said a million times that if I were a vampire, I would be Dexter.
Yes.
Like, I like it or not, I am hunting down shitty, horrible people and I am eating them. So,
Yeah, I
like,
can see you doing this.
I mean, to me, that still feels like I have a soul. Like I'm just making the world better through vampirism. So
I love that
I don't
imagery.
know.
I really do because a lot of people feel like vampire lore, especially Anne Rice, is tends to like border on the kink community, and that I don't know, that temptation of just like giving in to all of your hedonistic desires. And here you are out like, oh no, I'm going to be a crusader and I'm going to get rid of all the bad people. When usually it's tempting to just divulge into, your deepest, delicious, naughty desire. You know what I mean? I think it's great that you spun it.
I think my issue would be like collecting beautiful people that I wanted to take on this journey with me. Like, come on, we're gonna be a girl gang of vampires. That would
Right?
be
Absolutely. I love this. I love this. I also like that at the end with Hector and Renata and Sabine Maria, they don't really say it, but they're poly. And I think that's kind of really cool. So there's a lot of like societal deconditioning in the book, if you really dig deep. Karen, how about you? Do you think that that something in them and their inner self dies and this new thing is born, or do you think they carry that with them?
I do believe that they carry their like soul with them. I it's funny, have I think I just keep going back and thinking like I've just recently, probably within the past like 5 or 6 years, gotten back into reading about vampires. Um, I don't know if anybody ever has where something traumatic happens and then you associate something with that.
Hmm.
But when I was a teenager, I had a traumatic event happen. And that same day, my friends decided to distract me by taking me to see Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I
Um,
would not watch anything or read anything about vampires for like 20 plus years. I wouldn't even touch it. It was kind of like a trigger for me. Like,
yeah, there's
don't even
association.
want don't even want to touch it. But, I've gotten back into them and I love the Anne Rice books. Well, actually, I'll be honest, I have not read the Anne Rice books. I did her Witches series, but I didn't do the vampire series, but I have watched Interview with a Vampire. And now just getting back into reading vampires, they do fascinate me. And I've broken that trigger. But but I've also recently read some like rom-coms with vampires, which is just kind of funny. Because in those, they're vampires, but they're very like non-violent vampires.
Oh, that's
And they're like
interesting.
instead of going to bite people, they go to blood banks and break in and and
Oh,
get
sort of like, yeah, sort of like the Cullens live off of animals.
yeah. So
Okay.
they don't, you know,
Again, a
bite
choice.
people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Udi, how about you? What do you think about the soul?
I think they still have it. I agree with a lot of what everybody has said. Um, I just think that their hunger is too powerful to care right now.
Hmm.
I think once they get maybe a little bit more mature, a little older, they'll be able to control that a little bit better.
Hmm.
But I think right now she's too young and she just doesn't care.
Yes, I think so too. I think so too. I think it's a thirst. And like with Renata and the children, I think that that is a hunger she has is to be a mother, and that's how she's satisfying it. Because she knows it's not going to be a possibility. Nikki, how about you? What do you think about the soul placement for a vampire?
Well, I can definitely say I haven't gotten that far yet because I didn't know we were eating children.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
very curious to get to that part.
Yeah, it gets
I
vivid.
I have been one that's been like into the vampire lore my entire life. You know, I grew up on Buffy. Twilight, all of that jazz. And I never actually really put thought to the whole do they really lose their soul or not? I don't know. I struggle even believing like do we have a soul? I feel like I don't remember if it was Jameson or somebody that said that it feels like more of
Jessica.
like a Christianity thing. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like that hit the nail on the head.
Hmm. Okay. I think that's valid. I think that there's a lot of thought process behind that and goes really deep, especially with like how we were raised. Do you know what I mean? Like our
Yeah.
core
And
thoughts.
because a lot of these vampire stories, most of them, when they first turn, it's, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know if I want to hurt this person. There's still that need or want of making your own choices.
Yes, absolutely. Stephanie, how about you?
So I also agree on what everybody else is saying, but vampires are portrayed as animalistic and they have to have their needs met, which is understandable because they do need to eat too.
Right?
Um, like Jameson, I would probably go on a crusade if I was a vampire, probably go to blood banks or something because I don't want to kill people. But I think they still do have a soul
Hmm.
because they are self-aware.
Hmm.
But like everybody else is saying, they're just so young. They need to learn self-control.
I think the whole point about being a vampire is not having that control, but
Yeah.
that might just be
Yeah.
me being sick. Yeah, I definitely like vampires. How about you, Tiff? What is your thoughts?
So I think that the soul is not part of your body. I think that that is your soul. I think that your soul uses the body as a vessel to learn the lessons it needs to learn, et cetera, et cetera. I also think about it from a quantum physics point of view of like energy isn't destroyed.
Right.
Um,
As I believe in reincarnation, but yeah. Hmm.
so I don't think that they lose their soul. I actually hadn't really thought about it too much with vampires. So I appreciate this group bringing Aaron. Excellent question.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't actually thought about that with vampires before. But I also think about like when when they start talking about their heart
Yeah.
and
Right.
that, the heart part of them is very much it would appear alive.
Hmm.
And so I think that that may relate, at least in that book
Okay.
and in that context, to the soul in that way.
In this particular situation, absolutely. 100%. So it is 9 o'clock. I wanted to ask a question. You guys can just like raise your hand or wave. Because the book is split up so oddly, there's two things like we can either finish this book and not split it up in a third way, which I've managed to do. The book is 554 pages, and that's why I wanted to split it in threes. But it's a very good read, a very fast read, a very addicting read. So if you want to just finish it this week, raise your hand. If you want to keep it in threes so we can really break it down and discuss it, because everyone has such a good storyline, that's the only drawback I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that we won't be able to really dissect what we're going to learn about Alice and the other, you know what I mean? So it's up to you guys. You guys get to choose. If you want to finish it, raise your hand. If you want to stop at the next third point, don't. Just leave your hands down. Oh, okay. So we're splitting it in threes. This is fabulous. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here tonight and talking about vampires with me, because this is like my new favorite subject. We now have lesbian vampires. I'm a happy girl. I love you all. Happy reading. Stay safe. Take care of your souls. Bye.